Hey guys, and welcome back to Deku Tarot. I know it's been a while, and we're going to talk about this full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer. It's in the North Node. So we're going to go through with a one card pull for each sign here, what it's going to bring up for you. We're going to talk a little bit about the astrology, but I do highly recommend going to watch or read at least about the astrology of this eclipse. It's really big, and it relates a lot to the eclipse in the new moon on December 26th in Capricorn. Now, Cancer and Capricorn are in the North and South nodes respectively, and we've been going through this really, I don't know if it's called an eclipse cycle or eclipse period or something like that, but we've been going through a lot of eclipses over the past year. I think it's been about a year and a half now in Cancer and Capricorn. And this is really interesting. So we could have some feelings, some emotions, some big to-dos happening that probably came up about, or in those other eclipses that hit, and especially so it will relate back to what was happening, what was going on feelings and emotion wise, and decisions around that Capricorn eclipse on December 26th. So again, I highly recommend going to watch maybe Gregory Scott astrology, White Light astrology, Varush, Nadia Shah. They're all great astrologers and have a lot of good things to say about this that I probably won't be able to cover for you. I've looked at the charts myself. It's a lot in Capricorn, and then we got this full moon in Cancer, and I do feel, at least for me as a Cancer rising, it's been bringing up obviously a lot of emotional things, emotional blockages, a lot of stuff that needed to be worked through that maybe was brought up during these eclipses in the past. So let me know in the comments below what's been coming up for you or how you've been handling it. As a Cancer rising, I know I'm really feeling it. So let's talk about what this means for each of you guys. We're going to pull a card for each sign with my Usi Pagan Otherworlds deck. Do check out your 2020 readings and make sure to subscribe, guys. Make sure to hit that wiggly bell. It'll notify you when I'm live and whenever I post up a new video, okay? I'm working on the January readings. They should be out very quickly after this video. They're going to be shorter than every other month this year, but it'll be fun, okay? We just have a lot of information coming in with the 2020 readings, so I decided to keep January readings short and sweet. All right, so Aries sun, moon, and rising. What is this Cancer full moon lunar eclipse? I believe it's a prenumbral eclipse too. Ooh, Aries. Okay. Popping right out here. Hangman reversed. Whenever I kind of see the Hangman reverse, I do feel that you've been bound up by something. We've been bound up by our convention, by whatever it is that we feel kind of tethered to here, and we've been needing, it might be that you felt very stuck, very stagnant because of this, and you're just like, I can't move forward because of these reasons. And here we're getting breakthroughs. Maybe we're having ideas come in that seem to answer all of our problems if we move forward on them. I don't think that it's not going to involve effort, because the Hangman reversed here definitely feels to me like taking steps forward. We've looked at something, we've been again bound by it in such a way that we've had to look at it from a different perspective. The universe has put us in a pause basically to say, look at this from a different perspective. Really look at your concept of whatever reality you're in here and try to figure out where you stand in it and how you can bring more balance to your life through this. It's trying to show you something. So if you have felt stuck, know that, the universe has been trying to direct your attention somewhere in your life where you do feel stuck, and how to get out of it might be coming through here in this eclipse. So maybe we're taking the first steps forward. We're making a big change because we've seen something from a different perspective. And now we really do know what we want to do, instead of, feeling very confused, very tied down and unable to make a decision and move forward. So Aries, those are your messages for this Cancer full moon lunar eclipse. And it's in the North Node in your sign. It's, I'm sorry, why am I saying that? Like I'm saying that like you're Cancer now. I don't mean to say that. Sorry, it's in your 4th house. So check out what that means for you, Aries. Might have stuff to do with home, family, and where you want to be, how you want to live, the people closest to you. Big revelations there. All right, Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, rising, and Venus. Taurus, sun, moon, rising, and Venus. What is this Cancer full moon lunar eclipse bringing in or bringing up for you guys? And I'm sorry, guys, I'm still working through this cold. I had all my friends up and I was traveling, and I'm still a little bit stuffed up. I didn't really get a chance to recover from the cold that I've been fighting for a couple weeks now. Four of Swords is yours. I like this. I think that you guys need a break. Tauruses, you've been trying to get a lot done, trying to figure out a lot. And I feel that this eclipse is probably taking a toll on your energy levels. You're probably feeling extremely exhausted. You need to take a break, take a step back, maybe do some meditation, do some self-care, have a self-care day. And I mean that in a positive way, journaling, maybe watching something that makes you feel good, that, always gives you good insight, listening to good music, eating good food, making sure you're going to bed earlier, drinking plenty of water. I just feel like this is let's touch down to home base here in Capricorn, fellow earth sign season. And with Cancer, this wonderful nurturing sign and energy, there's a lot of nurturing here, loving yourself first, and that's going to bring you success. So love yourself first and do what's best for you at this time. Take any necessary rest that you need. All right, Taurus. And again, that's going to hit your, I believe, third house. And God, I always forget where Capricorn is. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to try to count that down right now, but maybe check out how that interacts, and especially so with Mars making a really tight conjunction there. It's going to bring up a lot. Again, I would highly suggest checking out the astrology of this eclipse, because eclipses last for the next 6 months. The changes, the things that are coming up, it's not just like wham, bam, done. It's going to keep going. All right, Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is this Cancer full moon eclipse, full moon lunar eclipse bringing up for you guys? Bringing up or in for you guys. Yes, Gemini. This is a good card. Okay, we get the Sun, success, happiness, something coming to light that is going to bring you a lot of clarity, but also it feels like joy. I really like the Sun, and the Sun in this deck, it's just very beautiful. For me, it does talk about, sight, because the Sun usually in most decks has a face on it in the Sun card, but I don't know. Again, I feel like we're seeing something, hearing something, knowing something now, and we have a new perspective here, and we're ready to be proud of that. We're also ready to feel successful, I feel like, in our own right. Okay, Gemini. If I was just saying Cancer, I do apologize. It's like saying the whole eclipse thing is like very confusing for me. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of it's just a lot to say, and I keep finding that I keep saying it's like I'm talking to Cancers, but don't worry, I'm talking to you, Geminis. This is success. This is, for me, almost the Sun is like that full bloom moment, something coming to full bloom, to fruition, happiness, joy. You're you're celebrating some type of success here, or again, we're seeing something in a new light, and we're not, again, afraid to speak our truth, live our truth, be our truth. Interesting, Gemini. All right, Cancers. And I do believe that's going to be in your second house, Gemini. So second house of money, jobs, career, our security. So maybe a really great success in terms of money, having something come through, a windfall, something, wonderful opportunity in that realm. Okay, Geminis. All right, Cancer. This is in your first house, this lunar eclipse full moon in Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's all about you, nurturing and loving you. Let's see what this brings up and in for you for the next 6 months. Jeez, okay, too many cards, both face down. Okay, but now we get one, like immediately. Wow, okay, Two of Cups. Love. Okay, again, it's all about nurturing yourself first, and that will bring in love. So if you have not been in a relationship, if you've been looking for love, or felt unsatisfied in this area, you need to put that love into yourself, is a message that I'm getting here. And I know that that's not always the message here with the Two of Cups, but I do feel like self-love and putting yourself first, loving you at the top of the list here, is going to bring in the love and the success in relationships that you want, the equality. Again, in Two Cups, there is a fair exchange here. It's not one person giving a little, the other person giving a lot. This is two people that choose to be together, opportunities that want you just as much as you want them, offers that seem fair, equal, and exactly what you're looking for, something that is nurturing, something that nurtures you back. So this is really beautiful. And again, we could be reconnecting in love, having somebody tell us how they feel. Really a deep connection in terms of love here is what we're looking for and what we're getting. And that doesn't have to just be in terms of relationships. It could be friendships. It could also be career, a job, a lifestyle. Now I get to move somewhere that I really love. It's the offer that we're looking for, a fair and equal exchange. And it brings a lot of just equality and giving in terms of love here for the next 6 months. Such a wonderful, nurturing, beautiful energy here. It's like two becoming one. Again, respectful unions. All right, Cancer, those are your messages. Let's move on to Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is going to be in your 12th house. Interesting. So we're going to be working through some maybe beliefs and wanting to nurture us in this as well. You guys sometimes give too much to others, so I get the feeling you're going to start to focus more on relationships, people, beliefs, and, you know, even just internal, more metaphysical systems within your life that nurture and love you and that support you. So let's see. Nurturing also our exploration into maybe more religious or introspective, metaphysical fields, wanting to know more about the deeper questions in life. Okay, so let's see. Leo. Wow, okay. Interesting that this comes up reverse. I'm going to talk about it both ways. I'm just going to hold it up right. The Seeker. So, Leo, your card here is the Seeker. It did come out reverse. This is one of the cards in the Usi Pagan Otherworlds deck that was created by by the artist and whoever was collaborating on. I believe it was just the artist and the person doing all the writing here. But it's a really, really beautiful card, and I really love getting this card because it does mean, again, that you're seeking out deeper wisdom. I mean, what a perfect card for a 12th house eclipse here. It's pretty intense. We're looking deeper at ourselves, at who we are as a person, and do we match up to who we really want to be? I do think that a lot of deeper questions are coming up here, especially in regards, like I was saying, to religion, to what do I believe in, and what kind of life do I really want to be living? Where do I fit in the cosmos? What do I bring to the table, and what do I want to continue bringing moving forward? Where's my path going to take me? And some of you might have felt that you haven't been seeking this out, and that could be coming up here in this eclipse and saying you could be really getting a big slap in the face here, something that feels a little harsh in terms of who are you now and have you changed? How do you define yourself? How do you define your beliefs and how you live your life, who you show up as, but also who you are internally and on a deeper level? These are really big things to work through, and I highly suggest journaling, meditating, and maybe asking for guidance from somebody that could help you if you need it. But also, it does feel like a very introspective time where you're being asked to look at some deeper, things that are coming up, maybe where our attention is uncomfortably being turned to some internal issues in terms of our beliefs and the people that we keep around us. And again, it just feels like you're really looking at your life and who you are, and if you need to update it, if you need to change, and if your beliefs especially fit who you are now. Ooh, Leo, big messages. Let's move on to Virgo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What are your messages, or what's coming up here in this lunar eclipse full moon in Cancer? Virgos. Whew. Okay. Eight of Swords reverse. For me, this is kind of that awakened feeling, where we felt stuck, where we felt blocked, where we haven't been able to see forward, kind of falls away when Eight of Swords comes up. You finally are seeing things the way they need to be seen. You're also seeing that you have a lot bigger of a hand here in getting stuck the way you were than maybe you originally believed. Maybe you were pointing the finger here, there, everywhere, but in reality, you put yourself in this stuck position here. There's a lot of emotional entanglement that is involved in this that kind of gums up the works here in our mind for us to be able to really see where we actually stand in this situation, which is that all we need to do is kind of change our perspective, really look at this from an outside perspective, look at it in a way where we have more power than maybe we believe that we have up until this point. Again, it's kind of like the blindfold lifts off, the swords fall away, and you realize you weren't trapped at all. And that maybe the only thing that was keeping you there were your emotions and beliefs. So we're seeing something in a new way, and I do feel like it's freeing us up it's freeing us up in terms of, how we're able to move forward now. What we're letting bind us and keep us where we were is no longer going to be a problem. It's like you move past that kind of mentality. You're like, wait, why did I believe it like this? Never mind. All right, Virgo, so those are your messages. I think that's going to be in your, your 11th house? So yeah, relation, groups of people, social groups of people, situations like that. Apologize about the dog. Hopefully she stops barking. Let's move on now to Libra. Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Libra Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see what we get here for what's coming up for you in this Cancer full moon lunar eclipse. Let's just bring up for you guys, Libras. Ooh, oh wow, Libra. I like this for you. You guys have like a lot of this. If I remember correctly, this kind of energy has come up in your yearly reading. If you haven't checked out your 2020 read, you guys definitely need to check out your 2020 read. I mean, you all should, because the astrology is big this year and I went deep for you guys. So definitely go check it out. I do think you'll enjoy it. The Eight of Cups here, moving on, moving forward. Where we're at is not satisfying us, huh? Whenever I get the Eight of Cups, there is a longing to move forward. I don't really like where I'm at now. I don't like the life I'm living now. Emotionally, I don't feel connected to it, or it's become too much, been too confusing, and it's time to leave what is no longer satisfying behind and seek out, self-satisfaction, fulfillment, the Nine of Cups. We want to make our dreams and wishes come true. This is in your 10th house. This is all happening in your 10th house of career, of money, of all that kind of stuff. So I do think that might have a lot to do with leaving a certain career situation, or leaving things that you were doing before behind, because you want something more. You want to be doing more. You want to be putting out more. You want to show the world what you've got, and you have to leave behind where you're at really to get there. You have to seek out that Nine of Cups. You have to seek out the 10 of Cups, the emotional satisfaction within this that you really deserve. So don't be afraid to move on. Don't be afraid to move forward. Don't be afraid to physically move, to literally move, to let something go. Put in that 2 weeks so you can follow your dreams. I don't know. Big stuff here. So let's see. Let's move on now to, wow. And I just want to say, as I was shuffling and still talking about you, Justice card came up reversed. So you guys are not in alignment and are not in balance, and you need to leave something behind to move on towards that, okay? And I think that these eclipses are really going to highlight the things that we need to leave behind in order to readjust and get onto a better path here. I do think that that's going to be a major thing that is going to be hanging about here for the next 6 months, and especially so we're going to be feeling it very intensely at this time. It's like, what should you be embracing versus what you need to let go of? And there's a lot of this unpredictable, crazy energy here, but it's bringing, I feel like for you guys, a lot of projects to conclusion and allowing you to bring these realizations about what you really want to do. And maybe it's coming up kind of unexpectedly, and you're like, but I'm not happy now that I know that I want this, now that I know kind of where I want to go, what direction I want to head in. Like, it's time to move on. I can't really ignore that now. Ooh, okay, a lot of 8s. That's what I mean. A lot of 8s. You, Virgo, I think somebody else also got an 8 already. Maybe not, though. I don't know. Moving forward, moving on. Scorpios. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Scorpios, what is coming up for you, or what's happening in this full moon in Cancer lunar eclipse? In the North Node. This is going to bring up for you guys in your energy. And what's happening? One card, please. Whoa. Page of Cups. Let me get a sip of coffee for this guy. Page of Cups is this emotional, I don't know, it's, for me, the Page of Cups often comes up as this just this really, the essence of emotionality, the essence of love, the essence of the emotional response and investigation into something here. We're developing our emotional self here. We're learning how to maybe even speak more softly with our emotions. Scorpios, you're kind of known as being the intense sign, and I got a pretty good, I have a lot of good experience with you guys, so I know that this has been maybe making you a rough around the edges lately, this whole eclipse energy, and it's bringing up emotions in kind of rougher ways, but you're finding better ways to communicate your emotions and to chase that feeling of love more, whether that means apologizing more, whether that means backing down on more intense emotions and seeing things in different ways, seeing things from different perspectives. For me, the Page of Cups is a new beginning and a birth and opportunity here to really push forward into new areas in terms of love, to push forward into the softer emotions of it, to push forward into the more loving and, again, the essence of emotional, essence of love, essence of affection kind of emotions. What do you really want? What makes you happy? And what are you willing to change about how you communicate in order to get there, in order to also, you know, propose this loving, you know, proposal? It could be, I don't know, I don't usually see the Page of Cups as a big proposal, but it could be smaller proposals, things, you know, I want to deepen this relationship, I want to better it, I want to get to know you more, I want to take you out, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's really a wonderful opportunity to gain more emotional depth through almost approaching it in a lighter way. So Scorpio, and that happens in your 9th house. So anyways, let's move on now to Sagittarius. Again, Scorpio, I don't know if your 2020 is up yet, actually. I was about to say go watch it, but I think I need to do your 2020. I'm not sure. I've had to take a break. I have to do all the Januaries, then I'm headed back into the 2020 reads. So definitely check it out for your sun, moon, and rising if you haven't. All right, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising for this full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer. This is coming up, bringing up for you. Ooh, okay. 2 of Rods. For me, this is, you know, kind of the recognition of, okay, we've made it this far. Where do we go from here? The 2 of Wands really stands up on this hilltop. It usually shows, you know, this kingly type figure looking out over his lands, but also looking out over the ocean, seeing what else, where do we go from here? Can I keep conquering? Should I keep going on? Where, you know, do I just stay where I'm at? It's kind of considering our two, you know, paths forward here. It just feels like, you know, you've got power and dominion here within your grasp, but what you want to do with it, you might not 100% know yet, or you might be considering that. So we're considering new paths forward. We're considering, you know, where we might go from here, where we want to head, and really what our destination and goals are at this time. So it's really nice for you guys. And I do feel like, again, the next 6 months are going to be a lot of that. You know, where do I want to go from here? What fits me? What fits who I am now? What nurtures the life that I want to live more? Okay, so let's see. And that's going to be happening in your 8th house of travel. Oh, sorry, that's more than 9th house. I always get 8th and 9th confused. That's happening in your 8th house there. Let's move on now, though, Sagittarius, to Capricorn. I always want to go to Aquarius and then Capricorn. I don't know why. All right, Capricorn. Happy birthday, my lovely Caps. I know it is still your birthday month. I know I haven't been that present during your birthday month. It's not you, it's me. Capricorn. This is happening in your opposite node and in your opposite sign. So you're going to be feeling it. Don't you worry. And we obviously, you and Cancer have been going through these rounds of eclipses, these opposing eclipses for so long now. I mean, what is this bringing up for you now? You and Cancer have these deep, it feels like stories that have built up over time with these eclipses over the past year or so. So it's really interesting to see how you guys have been changing, transforming, and where you're headed now. Okay, so let's see. This is going to be in your 7th house of relationships. So we're going to be really looking at relationships and friendships. Also, again, romantic, obviously, love that nurtures us, that gives you what you need. And I think a lot of you are coming to the realization also that loving yourself first is really going to bring you that love. So you're really in this self-love place that's beautiful. And if you're not, you know, shift your attention into self-love, and that will bring you the love that you deserve, bring you the relationships, the affection, even within a relationship that or marriage that's existing, and it will really bolster and help you. So there's a lot of really big revelations, big stuff happening with relationships. It doesn't always have to be good, but it will put you on the right path. If you're not on the right path within a relationship, you will get on the right path within a relationship. I don't know what just happened to my voice there for a second, but wow. I'm just really stuffed up, guys. I don't know what's happening. So let's see. Well, I do. I have a cold. Capricorn. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. What does this lunar eclipse full moon in Cancer bring up for you in the north node and your opposing node? Let's see what we get. Cancer. Not Capricorn. See, I'm getting myself all turned around having to say the Cancer full moon lunar eclipse in the north node. It's like confusing a little bit. So let's see. Capricorns. Ooh. Decisions. If you are at the crux of a decision here, you know, right at that middle point where, you know, the path goes two ways and you really don't know where to go. Some of you might not even be aware that there are two choices here, that you can make a choice. And it's time to open yourself up to the fact that you're kind of sitting at a crossroads and it's time to make a decision. You could be wrestling with this decision over the next few months or so. Not, well, next 6 months, because that's how eclipses work. But there are big decisions here. What path, you know, where we want to go, especially within a relationship, within, because again, this is about, you know, seventh house, but you also have to look at what your rising is and what your houses are because of that. I'm just saying it, you know, based on your sun sign in terms of houses, but I would highly recommend going and actually checking out, you know, where your houses are and stuff, okay? But you have to choose to, again, put a lot more into the relationship with yourself rather than with, I think, other people at this time and other relationships. And I think that by doing that, you actually open yourself up for the relationships, the life, and the decisions that you need to make and want to make will come right to you. So you have to start making, you know, the first decision here, I'm going to do this, and other things will follow, especially if it has to do with relationships. For those of you where it has to do with, I feel like, I don't know, this card always makes me feel like moving. I don't really know why. I think it's because, you know, we got those rocks heading off into the distance. It feels like where do you want to take this path here? Do you want to, you know, go somewhere else with a job, with a career, with your life literally physically moving, changing up where you want to be, who you want to be? There's, you know, the big decisions that we're going to be coming to in the next 6 months or so. And I do feel like the relationships in your life have a big role within that in terms of the decisions that we make and what we're making them for. Ooh, there's just a lot of big stuff there, Capricorn. Wow. I don't even want to keep going. Wow. Because that's like first house and seventh house. So you versus your relationships. Okay. You're going to be fine, though. These are positive things. Positive, okay? Just remember it's positive. All right, let's move on to Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Aquarius. What is this? Cancer, full moon, lunar eclipse. Am I saying it right? Full moon in Cancer, lunar eclipse. How is it hitting you guys? My hair looks so 70s today. I always feel very Aquarian-like. My hair is like this. I don't have any placements in Aquarian, but I feel like you guys are like 70s poster childs always. I don't know why. So anyways, Three of Cups, so random. This is really wonderful. Success, happiness, maybe some good times, something to celebrate. Getting together with some good friends. Again, this is in your 6th house, so not really a surprise there. This is really lovely. I think that you guys could be, again, celebrating something and getting together with people, getting together with friends, really appreciating the people you have around you. There's just a really, really lovely energy here of a bountiful, wonderful outcome. You're content with your situation. Just make sure you're not drinking too much, spending too much on frivolous things, if anything. But over the next 6 months, it feels like there's a lot to celebrate and a lot of new friends and people to celebrate with, people that you're happy with. You know, you're building new communities, having new things that you can feel happy and successful about, things to celebrate, working with others, especially working with good friends and people that you want to be working with, collaborative energy. So I really like this for you guys. It feels very nice. I don't really want to get too deep into that because it just feels good, and it's all about nurturing that aspect of your life because, again, this is in Cancer. So, excuse me. Let's now move on to Pisces. After I just choked. Never a good sign. All right, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let me just get a little water. I'm still feeling like I'm choking a little. Okay. Pisces. I love you, Pisces. You guys are just enigmas. I can honestly say every Pisces in my life is so vastly different from the other Pisces, and so you guys are just the most unique people I've ever met. You can't really pin you down into any specific box ever, and I think that's how you like it. So let's see, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is this Cancer, full moon, lunar eclipse bringing up for you? It's going to be in your 5th house. So why are we gonna end it like this? Okay, Death card. This is, I mean, not that it's a bad card, it's wonderful, but it's like, That's a clearing out of energy. You're ending old patterns, you're ending old cycles. If you were dealing with something in a very old and outdated way, and you weren't getting the satisfying results, obviously, that you weren't going to get from it unless you changed by this point, you know, you're changing. I love this card. It is a very gory and strange death card where he's kind of just stepping on her head as she's holding up a flower in the background. It's like, that doesn't matter anymore. You know, people in situations that once seemed to offer flowers, that once seemed to offer something good, you're now like, okay, well, now I see, you know, what you are and what you are and what you are, and I'm getting rid of you. It feels like that kind of stuff, but it also just feels like you guys are I mean, again, like I'm saying this is like in an ending way at first, but I don't feel that way for you guys. I feel for death, for me, it's rebirth. It's that phoenix energy of you've kind of raised your life down, you burned it down here in that scorpionic way to a point where now it's open for new energy, and you can't really ignore that. You know, when the death card shows up, there's death, there's rebirth, there's huge areas of change that are happening within your life here. You know, it's just in your consciousness and how you're living and who you are, and in the way that you live your life and the way that you express yourself and nurture yourself. Because again, this is in Cancer, so it's about Cancer has that wonderful touch of loving relationships, you know, close relationships, what nurtures you and what doesn't. If something nurtures you, you're going to put your all into that, and you're going to stop beating around the bush and stop dealing with it in a past and outdated way where, you know, maybe we were just running circles around it and trying to bring this in weird ways that, you know, that just don't work for you guys now. It's all like, it's all really pointing to outdated ways of communicating, outdated ways of loving oneself and loving others. And if it hasn't worked for you by now, it's time to start changing. And you guys are 100% ready and in for that, it feels like here. It's like, no, I'm ready to cut out the fat of my life here. I'm ready to cut out what was weighing me down. It's like suddenly you wriggle out of the chains and you're like, wait, I can just run forward. Wait, I can just say this. Wait, I can just be honest. Wait, I can just do these things. Yeah, of course. You've always been able to dip into. I feel like this year in 2020, you guys are going to be dipping into like this Aries kind of mentality where you're just going for things. And this is a great way to start the next 6 months, closing out old cycles. You know, I'm not going to do this the same way I did this before. It didn't work that way. So what's the loss in changing? All right, anyways, and also again, it's just great rebirth, great change in one's life. I mean, it's such a major, major arcana card. Like, I feel like I'm having a hard time just like putting those kinds of feelings into words here, but it's the end of a cycle, it's the beginning of a new one, it's rebirth here. You guys are becoming different people, are changing your life, and are so open to changing it in the next 6 months. Big messages for you, Pisces, but I mean, all right, guys, those are your messages. Stay tuned for daily messages on the channel. Do check out your monthlies. Do check out your yearlies for 2020. Those are up to Pisces, especially yours was like the best one that I've done, and like I'm really jealous, so go check that out. All right, and have a wonderful and blessed full moon in Cancer lunar eclipse, okay? And let me know in the comments below how it resonates, how it's all going for you right now, guys. And I'll see you in the monthlies and dailies. Make sure to subscribe. And if you want to book a reading, all that info is right below this video in the description box. Thank you so much. Namaste.